If you clicked on this video, then that means you are a Hu Tao main aspiring to be more than just an innocent little pleb that's in the space of everyone who mains that. You want to be top, you want to be different, don't you? You want to be the best, you want to be like me. Okay, that's a bit too far, that's a bit outstretched. I'm kind of making myself look like some greater being, but I'm not. But I'm here to show you some divine wisdom about Hu Tao, her playstyle, how to do the most damage with that. Because I've been thick and through with Hu Tao. Pause no diddy, keep it moving. Now if you do enjoy this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and share this video to your mom so she can see how much of a degenerate player you are. Let's go, keep it moving. You're my little sweet muffin, let's keep going. Tip number 1 is focus on your teammates with Hu Tao. Hu Tao is one of the characters that benefits the most from having amazing teammates such as Farina, Yelan, and Jalonin. You can only really swell Hydra with Kazuo on the team, which means you can't really get that much of a damage bonus, if any at all, with Hu Tao. So it's better to stick with a new and more modern option, Jalonin. She can also provide healing, which provides Farina stacks. The buff you get from having Farina on your team outweighs the damage gain you get from her passive, which means that if you have Farina on a team, don't worry about keeping her under 50% HP. It's not worth it. The Farina buff is worth so much more. So just get a healer like Jalonin with her and stack Farina stacks and you'll be golden. No keeping Hu Tao under 50%. If you do not have Farina at all, yes, you're still going to have to keep her under 50% HP. I'm one of those people. It sucks, right? But basically, when you use Jalonin, avoid using the burst at all costs, right? Only use the burst if you have Farina on the team. Never ever use the burst if Hu Tao's the only person on your team. Next part is master your combos and combinations and combinations and combifations. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because there are many ways to play Hu Tao, even at C0 and C1, which I will discuss in a second. But mastering her gameplay is a must if you want to do the most damage output with her. Now this was meant to be kind of a commentary segment, but of course my microphone got messed up by my recording app and it recorded my webcam audio, so the audio sounds like a piece of shit. So let's just move on, and you're a sausage. Actually, I'm the sausage for not really checking that first. It's not my fault though, my piece is a fucking potato, mate. But anyways, a few things you want to know about Hu Tao real quick about her combinations is you can either jump cancel or dash cancel. And when you dash cancel, you will use a lot of stamina, and I mean a lot. Which is why, unless you have the C1, really you should never be doing this. You should always be jump cancelling. But a brand new mechanic which was recently invented, basically with Zhang Yun, was the plunge Tao cancel mechanic. And that is basically when you do a charge attack, you jump in the air and you plunge back down. Basically identical to the jump cancel, but you plunge down and do it like way more damage. And that team actually is like one of her best, if not the best right now, because of the damage output. Because since all the damage is done by normal and charge and plunging attacks, that multiplier for her will be really high. And if she can consistently get plunges down, she will deal a lot of damage, right? And onto how to actually hit the jump cancel, it is really not that hard at all. It may sound like it's some like difficult mechanic to learn, and like it's really not hard to learn at all, and it can give you like 2 or even 3 extra charge attacks with every rotation. So it's really valuable to learn, it's really easy, and you get quite a bit of value from learning it. And if you don't like the playstyle, you might as well just get the C1, and I don't know. But my advice is, when you see the second number pop up during the attack, that is when you jump instantly, because obviously that's when the attack's been registered. The reason you don't want to jump after the first number is because that's actually a normal attack, because Hu Tao does a normal attack before she does a charge attack in a like charge combo, which is why she can proc like Yelan, Xingqiu, all of them, because she has a normal attack first like a lot of characters. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, next up is going to be talking about some weapons, and weapon options are pretty limited. I'm playing. Hu Tao has an access to a variety of different weapons, right? Whether you're free to play, battle pass, big whale spender, all of them. Like her weapon access is like, her armor is insane. So let's start off with her signature weapon and her best in slot. Obviously Staff of Homer, which you get a buff from being under 50% HP, and just get a buff from HP overall with a nice crit damage main stat, which can never go wrong with literally any character. So her weapon isn't only usable on her, it's actually like one of the most versatile weapons, if not the most versatile polearm in the entire game, just because the buff works, and the buff is that big that it just works on any character basically, whether they're built HP or not. Because with Hu Tao, you do not want to build like 4 HP. You want to build like a kind of like a HP and attack build, because she's kind of like a mixed scaler. Think of like Albedo. Actually, none of you Nugents are Albedo. Think about Chiori. Think about Chiori, how she's like a dual scaler. Hu Tao's kind of like one of them. Because with Hu Tao, you want to be averaging around 35,000 health. 32,000 to the 35,000 range is like the juicy sweet spot. So if you can get that, you'll be solid, you'll be doing good, and you'll be doing as you should. Bosh! But most of you who clicked on this video by now probably know about all the best weapons. So if you want some more details, here's a screenshot on the screen right now of all the weapons and how they compare. So the top one is the best one, and as it goes down, the weapons are getting worse and worse. So see where your weapons rank, and yada yada yada. Let me keep moving on the video. Now my next piece of advice is to learn when to time your burst properly. If you didn't know, your attack buff from your E actually scales when you use your burst, which means it is really important to use your burst while the E buff is active. But you never want to be doing this too early or even right after pressing E, because you are wasting a whole rotation and you're wasting a whole combo of charge attacks only for the burst, which is not worth it, and it is a damage reduction. But if you can time it at the end of your E, perfectly at the end, then you can retain the attack buff so you can deal even more damage. Now when it comes to actually timing this properly, my best course of action is around 8 seconds is like the perfect sweet spot. And I don't mean 8 seconds after popping the E, I mean in the bottom right, when you see the cooldown, when that number hits 8 or like 9, between that time frame is when I use my burst, and I find that's like the most consistent, the best way for me. There might be an exact number, which there obviously is, but I don't know the exact number, and yeah, that's just my personal preference. It makes the rotation smooth. It's just what works for me with my rotations. It may be different for you, but it's still a good guideline to base yourself around of. Think of like when you get a new game and you look up the best sensitivity and settings for it, and then the person always says, yeah, no, the sensitivity may be a good baseline, but it's never a good thing to, you know, stick to forever, right? If you have a better or more preferable cooldown preference where you want to use your burst, please go ahead and do that. If you can time it better than me, go ahead. I'm nowhere near some special geezer, I'll tell you that right now. So if you can time it better than me, even let me know in the comments when do you time it, you know. Let everyone know. Now, with Zhalonan being a really frequent replacement for Zhongli now, you will have to learn how to avoid attacks of Hu Tao, and that is where my next piece of advice comes in, and that is learning iframes and when Hu Tao is invisible, when to actually dodge instead of jump cancelling, all of that kind of stuff. Because you won't be able to always jump cancel your way to freedom. Like, maybe sometimes you won't be able to crit fully, you won't be able to, you know, naturally avoid the attacks. So this is where learning iframes comes into play. I'm obviously not going to make like a massive thing about this, because, you know, you can make a whole video about like one character's iframes and when they're invulnerable. Because iframes, if you don't know, iframes just means invulnerability frames, where you can't get hit and you can basically dodge almost any single attack. With the only ones that you really can't do, I think you can't, is like the boss attacks, which insta-kill any character, like Raiden and Scaramouche, where they just instantly kill a character. Like, there's no way to dodge that really. But I'm pretty sure with Raiden, either you used to be able to or you still can. There is a way of using iframes to dodge that with certain characters. I'm not too sure about that. But speaking about Hu Tao, as far as I'm aware, while she is in the charge attack animation, she is invulnerable. It is only when you jump, cancel, and jump is when she's really susceptible. So you're going to have to really play around your rotations like really well, because you're not always going to want to jump cancel, right? Because Hu Tao actually goes through a lot of smaller enemies. You're not going to want to just jump cancel every single time. When there are enemies lined up next to each other, like for example 3 Magu Kenkis, and one's behind the other one, you're going to want to let that animation play, because you're going to hit both of them instead of hitting one, which actually saves you like a lot more damage than just doing the jump cancel in general. But speaking more about the dash attack, Hu Tao's dash is so far, it can actually help you dodge quite a bit of attacks, especially if you're not dash cancelling. If you're dash cancelling with C1, then go ahead, you have iframes to literally bend the world with. But some of us that are really unlucky like me, yeah, C1 is not an option right now. Even though I'm grinding for it, C1 right now as we speak is not an option. So make sure you play around with her and learn when she can't get hit, learn when she can get hit, and overall just play around with that mechanic, because iframes are really valuable on literally any character, right? Most characters are invincible when they're using their burst, just so you know. Like, I don't think you can die while your burst is active. So if ever with Hu Tao, because her burst heals as well, if you are ever in a really like close to death scenario, you're going to want to pop that burst, even if you don't pop the E first, because sometimes the E can actually get you killed because you're popping the E animation, and while you're popping that animation you can get hit. It could end your abyss run. So it's better to just burst straight away, even if you're losing out on the damage. Get some healing, get those iframes, especially in like a boss attack that you just don't know how to dodge, which is a lot of people. So just iframe yourself through that, and essentially that's basically the end of this video. And there are some other points I could have made, obviously, but they're all for a different video, and I'd rather make like an in-depth video on some of these other points rather than include like a small amount of them here, like iframes. I know I included iframes, but I really do want to make a longer video about that, and it won't include just Hu Tao. It will include like a big range of examples for characters, right? I'll try use like the most popular DPSs, you know what I mean. So if you did enjoy this video, please stick around and subscribe and like and comment. This video was actually pretty actually fun to make, honestly. Like a lot of videos are fun to make. Like recently when I've been making like daily uploads, obviously this video took a bit longer to get out. Making those videos where I just yell into the microphone and just complain and complain, or compliment and compliment, those are like the most fun I've had making content like ever. And I'm going to keep doing it, and I'm going to be mixing in these kinds of videos a little bit, you know, like, you know, the little informative videos, because I'm not dumb. Even though I yell down a microphone, I'm not that dumb. I like to talk about stuff like this. Anyways, I'm going off on a tangent. I don't know, I'm going to eat some balls or some shit.